The journey to conquering $1 million. When the boat becomes a beast and we learn to tame it. Part 1. Heaven on Earth, and the itchy feeling of what's next. After the shock of FinCore and the dramatic rebirth, our company, which still didn't have an official name, entered an era I called the Golden Age, with conditions. We were like a band that had just released its first hit, no longer playing in rundown bars, but still not quite big enough to fill a stadium. We were in a very comfortable spot. Projects like the quick website based on Min's starter kit were flowing in steadily like a river, while I was out fishing for bigger fish on custom projects. Steady revenue, good profits. Lynn had built a machine that ran so smoothly that sometimes I felt a bit surplus. Min was happy in his logical world, continuously optimizing starter kit, turning it from a bicycle into a small motorbike. We had hired 2 more employees, a young designer named In, who had great aesthetic sense, but was terrified of talking to clients like he was afraid of ghosts, and a front-end developer named Kwa, who could bring even my wildest designs to life but had a habit of naming variables after characters in martial arts novels. Life was good. Too good. That itchy feeling began one Friday afternoon. We had just finished a big project. Money had hit the account. Lynn was presenting a beautiful revenue chart, with green bars climbing higher. Min nodded in satisfaction, and Kwa were excited about their upcoming bonus. But I felt a restless unease. We had built a solid fleet of fishing boats. We went out to sea every day and returned with a full catch. But every day felt the same. The same type of fish, the same waters. I looked out the office window, gazing toward the distant horizon, wondering, is there more out there? Are there giant sea monsters we've never seen before? That evening, I talked to Min. Do you ever feel like we're running on a treadmill? Running fast, feeling exhausted, but ultimately staying in the same place. Min, engrossed in reading material about a new JavaScript framework, looked up. This treadmill is paying our rent and buying those fancy shoes you're wearing. I think it's fine, but it doesn't scale. I said dramatically, our agency model has a limit. We sell time and brain power. We only have 24 hours in a day and a certain amount of brain power. To make 10 times the money, we can't just work 10 times harder. We'll die before we get rich. Min sighed, closing his book. He knew that look of mine. The Jack's about to have a crazy idea look. So what does the business genius have in mind? I took a deep breath. We need to build something that can make money while we sleep. Part 2. The seed of the beast. The birth of an idea. That idea didn't come out of nowhere. It had been simmering in our daily work. We noticed a recurring issue with almost every small business client. They had a nice website, but they didn't know how to use it to actually engage with customers. They struggled with email marketing, scheduling appointments, collecting feedback, and running promotions. They had to use 5 or 6 different tools, cobbling them together awkwardly. After hearing my story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with me. Thank you. What we need, I scribble on the whiteboard, is one thing. A single platform. Let's call it Nexus, the convergence point. Customers log into one place and can do everything. Send emails, create landing pages, manage appointments, run surveys, all seamlessly integrated with the website we built for them. Min squinted at my diagram, a mess of circles and arrows. So basically, you want to build a mini version of HubSpot, MailChimp, and Calendly, all in one for small and medium businesses. Exactly, but simpler, easier to use, and more affordable. Jack, Min said slowly, do you have any idea how much work it takes to build something like that? This isn't a website. This is a complex software system. It's going to drain our growth fund, maybe even our personal savings. But think about the potential. I almost jumped up. This is a SaaS model, software as a service. Customers pay us monthly, recurring revenue. We build it once and can sell it to hundreds, thousands of customers. This isn't a fishing boat. This is a giant automated fish factory. This debate became the main topic in our meetings. It was no longer logic, Min versus emotion, Jack. It had turned into a real battle over the company's future vision. Part 3. The first civil war. Service versus product. This war divided our small office into two camps. The safety-first camp, led by men. This group believed we had a solid business model. Why risk everything to chase a far-fetched dream? We could slowly grow the agency, make more money, and think about it later. The risks were too high. Competitors were too strong. Then no risk, no reward camp. Led by me, this group argued that if we didn't take the risk, we would always remain a small company. This was an opportunity to create something truly valuable, an asset, not just a high-paying job. Safety was the biggest trap. Lynn, as usual, was Switzerland. She didn't pick a side. She asked the tough questions. In a tense meeting, she pulled up a spreadsheet on the screen. "All right," she said. "Product camp. Here's the estimated cost to develop the first version of Nexus, based on Min's estimate. 6 months of development, needing 2 more developers. Total personnel and operational costs, about $50,000. This will drain almost all of our growth fund." Then she switched to another tab. "Service camp. Here's the projected revenue if we continue on this track and take on more projects. Profit in the next 6 months could be $30,000 to $40,000. She looked straight at both of us. The question isn't which idea is better. The question is, are we willing to give up $40,000 of guaranteed profit to bet $50,000 on something that might fail completely? Silence enveloped the room. Lynn's cold numbers turned my lofty debate into a real business decision. Finally, it was Min who broke the silence. He looked at me, then at Lynn. "I hate risk," he said, "but I hate the feeling of regret even more of not trying. Let's do it, but with one condition." Everyone's eyes turned to Min. "We don't abandon the agency," he said firmly. "It's our lifeblood. We'll take profits from it to fund Nexus. We'll do both. It will be tough, but that's the only way to minimize risk." It was a compromise, a painful compromise, but the only way forward. We decided to create a two-headed beast, and we didn't know at the time, but that beast was about to consume all of us. Part 4. The two-headed beast and the pain of growth. The next 6 months were the most chaotic in the company's history. We officially had a name, Pixel and Logic. I wanted something catchier, but Min and Lynn voted against me. Life at Pixel and Logic became a battle on 2 fronts. Daytime, we were a professional digital agency. We met with clients, designed websites, wrote code, and ensured projects were delivered on time. This was the front that kept us alive. Nighttime and weekends, we became a sneaky tech startup. The Nexus team, consisting of Min, Kwa, and the 2 new developers we hired, worked tirelessly on the product. And then I worked on the user interface design. Lynn tried to manage both worlds simultaneously, looking like an air traffic controller, trying to land 2 planes on the same runway at the same time. Conflict erupted everywhere. A big agency client asked for a last-minute change. Min had to pull a developer from the Nexus team to help. I flipped out because it delayed the product progress. Min argued that if we didn't satisfy the client, we wouldn't have money to pay the developer. The company culture was divided too. The agency team felt like they were slaving away to support a fun project for the others. The Nexus team felt pressure and couldn't fully focus. Coffee and energy drinks became the main fuel. Everyone was exhausted. I, as a young leader, made every mistake possible. I tried to motivate everyone with passionate speeches, but they just needed sleep. I hung up cheap motivational posters around the office, "Dream big." But Min took them down because he thought they polluted the visual space. I tried to organize team-building events, but everyone was too tired to join. Leadership isn't about coming up with grand ideas. After hearing my story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with me. Thank you. Leadership is about slogging through the mud with your team, making tough decisions, and keeping people from killing each other when the pressure peaks. And I failed miserably at that. Part 5. The silent launch and the echo in the empty room. After 8 months of hell, more than 2 months over schedule and $20,000 over budget, the beta version of Nexus was ready. We did everything by the book. We created a flashy landing page. I wrote passionate blog posts about the future of marketing for small businesses. We sent emails to all our old and current clients. We even ran some Facebook ads. On launch day, We gathered at the office, opened a real-time analytics page. We waited and waited. A few people signed up for the trial. Most of them were friends and family. Traffic surged in the first hour, then slowly tapered off, and eventually became a straight line. There was no storm, not even a drizzle, just a terrifying silence. In the following week, we tried reaching out to those who signed up for the trial. What do you think of the product? The answers were often, "Oh, I haven't had time to look at it yet." Or, "The interface is fine, but I think it's a bit hard to use." Or worst of all, silence. We had built a beautiful spaceship, but we forgot to build the launch pad. People looked at it, admired it, then turned away. The feeling of failure was even heavier than when FinCore collapsed. This time, no one else was to blame. This was our brainchild, created with blood, sweat, and a lot of money. And no one cared. The tension in the company reached its peak. Two of the new developers, seeing the project had no future, quit. The growth fund was drained. We were on the verge of bankruptcy for the second time, but this time, the hole was much deeper. It was the darkest moment. I sat in the empty office, staring at the Nexus diagram on the whiteboard. The beast I had imagined now looked like a child's scribble. I was wrong. We were all wrong. Part 6. The humble conversation and the rebirth from the ashes. It was Lynn who pulled us out of the mire. She called for a mandatory meeting. "We have two options," she said, calm but firm. "One is to declare Nexus a failure, shut it down, and focus on saving the agency. Two is to figure out why it failed." We were too exhausted to argue. We chose option 2. Lynn suggested a simple, yet surprising idea. An idea we had completely overlooked in our frenzy of building. "Stop guessing," she said. "Ask." That week, Min and I did something very humble. We chose 5 of our closest agency clients. We didn't send an email. We called. "Hi, Nam, it's Jack here. I know you're very busy, but could I invite you for a coffee? I'm not selling anything. I just want to show you something and get 15 minutes of honest feedback. I'll pay for the coffee and give you a free month of website management services." Desperation made us humble, and humility opened doors. We sat down with each client. We didn't pitch. We opened our laptops, let them try Nexus, and silently observed. We learned more in those 5 meetings than in 8 months of development. They didn't need a tool with 20 decent features. They needed a tool with 3 excellent features that solved their biggest pain points. Our beautiful interface was actually confusing. The jargon we used was too technical. They didn't want to do it themselves. They wanted a tool that helped them with pre-made email templates, suggested campaigns. After the last meeting, Min and I sat in a coffee shop, not saying a word. We had built a product we thought the customers needed. We had never actually asked them what they needed. It was an excruciating aha moment. We went back to the office with renewed energy. We didn't throw away Nexus. We decided to surgically alter it. We removed 80% of the unnecessary features. We focus on making the 3 core features simple and stupidly powerful. We redesigned the entire user flow based on what we had observed. Min, Kwa, and I worked like craftsmen, chipping away at our product. No more startup glitz. Just a focus on solving a real problem. Part 7. Burning the ships, the toughest decision. 3 months later, Nexus 2.0 was born. It wasn't flashy. It didn't have many features, but it worked. We didn't make a big splash. We just gave it to the 5 clients who had helped us. Here's the new version, built based on your feedback. Try it for free for 3 months. A week later, Nam, the owner of a chain of spas, called me. "Hey Jack, your email tool is really good. This month, my clients' bookings are up 20%. How are you going to charge after the 3 months?" I almost dropped the phone. That was the first signal. Then another client started using the scheduling feature. Another one liked creating landing pages. Through word of mouth in that small group, we got our first 10 paying customers. Then 20, then 50. The number was still small, but it was real, recurring monthly revenue. Nexus was no longer a money-draining project. It had started to feed itself. And then we faced another problem. The 2-headed beast rose again. Our team was once again torn between serving agency clients and developing Nexus. which was demanding more and more attention. We knew we couldn't keep doing this. We had to choose. This meeting wasn't tense anymore. It was just sad. The agency side had saved us twice. It was the foundation, the safety. Giving it up was like a child leaving the family to live on their own. We have to burn the ships, I said, my voice low. If we leave a way out, we'll never give our full effort to Nexus. This time, Min agreed immediately. Nexus is the future, he said. Agency is the past. We have to focus. We made the toughest decision of our careers. We informed our agency clients that we would gradually stop offering custom design services within the next 6 months. We transferred some clients to other agencies and convinced some to switch to Nexus. It was a huge gamble. We were cutting off our main revenue stream to bet everything on a young product. Part 8. The 7-digit number and the view of the Great Sea. 12 months after burning the ships was a sprint. The whole company, now 10 people, focused solely on one goal: developing and selling Nexus. That focus created extraordinary power. The product improved weekly. The sales team, which was just me and a new hire, got better and better. We passed the 100 customer mark, then 500. Monthly recurring revenue, MRR, became the most important number in the company. We tracked it like hawks. $5,000, $10,000, $25,000. I don't remember exactly when we hit that mark. It wasn't an event. It was just a number on Lynn's dashboard one Wednesday morning. Our annual recurring revenue, ARR, surpassed $1 million. I called Min and Lynn into the meeting room. I pointed at the number on the screen. No one said anything. We just looked at each other. In Min's eyes, I saw the satisfaction of an engineer who had built a perfect machine. In Lynn's eyes, I saw the relief of a captain who had navigated the ship through the storm. In mine, I felt profound gratitude. We did it. From a bedroom, to a co-working space, to a real software company. The journey from $100,000 to $1 million taught me the deepest lessons. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. Real growth begins when you step out of your comfort zone. Love the problem, not the solution. We failed when we loved our product more than our customers' problems. Leadership is not a title. It's action. It's about serving your team, taking responsibility for failures, and sharing glory when you succeed. Focus is a superpower. Trying to do 2 things at once is the best way to do neither well. Burning the ships, though scary, is a freeing act. Linear growth versus exponential growth. There's a fundamental difference between selling time, agency, and selling a scalable product, SaaS. Understanding that changed everything. After hearing my story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with me. Thank you. The $1 million milestone isn't the finish line. It's just a checkpoint on the journey. We're no longer a fleet of fishing boats. We now have a battleship, and we're looking at an ocean full of bigger competitors and more complex challenges. The question now isn't how do we survive, or how do we make a profit? The question now is, what legacy can we build? How big can our impact be? The road to $10 million will be a completely different battle. But this time, we know how to tame the beast. Because we realized the scariest, but also the most powerful beast is our own ambition.